the leader who has spent 17 years building a $3.8 trillion firm. Jamie Dimon.
The year was 2008, when the real estate market crisis caused a large number of banks to collapse.
This was a very bad day.
A lot of their customers are freaked out, waiting to see how low the Dow will go.
The worst day in more than 4 years.
Closings are down more than 25%.
But there is one bank that survived relatively unharmed and rather took advantage to become the largest bank in America, JPMorgan Chase. Even with earnings down in 2008, it may have been the bank's best year as the bank grew in every single business of the year.
I mean, it's outrageous.
Behind this miracle was Jamie Dimon, the most powerful banker of all time, who runs this financial empire. His smart investments and management helped his company avoid $12 billion in subprime losses in 2008. Fast forward to 2015, 33 years after graduating from Harvard Business School, Jamie Dimon became one of few bank CEOs to attain the billionaire threshold.
It is official. Jamie Dimon has joined the Billionaires Club.
His stock portfolio included 6.1 million JPMorgan shares worth $793 million and $80 million in common shares options. How did Jamie Dimon become so powerful in the banking industry, and how did he make his fortune? This is his story. Jamie Dimon was born in 1956 in New York City. His parents, Theodore and Themis Dimon, were of Greek descent, and he is the youngest of their 3 sons. His paternal grandfather was a Greek banker in Izmir and Athens before he and his family immigrated to the United States penniless in 1921, changing their surname from Papadimitriou to Dimon. Peter is Jamie's older brother, and Ted is a fraternal twin. Theodore, Jamie's father, was already a successful banker by the time Jamie was born. Jamie could be portrayed as someone born with a silver spoon, gotten everything needed as a kid, attended private school, and often on vacation with parents. His childhood was almost smooth. But still, that did not stop young Jamie dreaming big. You know, many times kids learn a lot from their parents and always want to emulate them. So the same thing happened to Jamie. Seeing his grandfather's and his father's love for their work as stockbrokers, Jamie was inspired to pursue finance as well. Jamie Dimon started reading financial and investing books in high school, including David Dodd and Benjamin Graham's Security Analysis, a book written for the Columbia Business School. Dodd at Columbia University was Warren Buffett's professor, but Graham was more like a mentor to Buffett. At age 21, he read How to Be Rich by J. Paul Getty, the billionaire founder of Getty Oil Company. As we can see, one of the best ways to be successful is to learn from the successful ones. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Young Jamie Dimon was a principled child from a young age who knew exactly what he wanted. A career in finance seemed like the best path to his eventual success and fulfillment, and he made that decision early on. Although he finished 4th in his high school class and tried to be accepted to Brown University, he was rejected and ended up attending Tufts University, where he studied psychology and economics. Considering his education ability, Jamie is convinced that Tufts is not a good enough fit for someone like him. Jamie had applied to transfer to Princeton University from Tufts University during his freshman year, but he was once again rejected by an Ivy League institution. He appears to have been either obsessed with or felt entitled to enrolling into a prestige university. On the other hand, perhaps we should just call it ambition and dedication. As things stood, Jamie knew he had to do well at Tufts if he really wanted to get into an Ivy League school. Finally, it all came together for him in 1978. Jamie Dimon graduated top of his class. After he finished at Tufts University, he began to work for the Boston Consulting Group, BCG, for 2 years before he decided to apply to Harvard Business School. Jamie's application to Harvard Business School for their MBA program was successful this time. It was recognized that he was among the brightest students in the class when it came to economics and finance. He interned at Goldman Sachs while a student at Harvard and received numerous job offers after graduating as a Baker Scholar in 1982. But Jamie ultimately decided to work for a family friend and mentor, Sandy Weil, whose influence on his career would be unimaginable.
But Sandy Weil, as many people know, is the father of the modern-day financial supermarket. He is the reason why banks are allowed to serve Wall Street and Main Street simultaneously. Before getting the boot from American Express in the late 1980s, or after rather, he started over at a little-known commercial lender called Commercial Credit in Baltimore, and he cobbled together about 10 businesses there, brokerages like Smith Barney and the retail outlet of Drexel Burnham.
This followed a series of acquisitions by Weil of other Wall Street firms, resulting in a merger with Shearson Hamel. A few years back, Jamie Dimon and Sandy Weil had met. Weil knew Jamie's father, and the two families became close, gathering together for Passover dinners each year. Weil, who was running a company, Hayden Stone at the time, received a copy of Jamie Dimon's college essay about the 1970 merger of brokerage firms Shearson Hamel and Hayden Stone from Jamie's mother. Weil was very fascinated with Jamie Dimon and wanted to hire him because he thought he had a bright future ahead of him. As said by Jamie,
I had a summer job there. He liked the fact that I went to Harvard Business School, and his pitch was this: I'm not going to pay you the same, but he said, come join me here. I don't know what it's going to be, but at least you'll see what a big company works like.
And Lehman Brothers, so that he could work for American Express instead. Although Weil could not offer Jamie the same salary as the investment banks, he assured Jamie that he would have a great time while learning a lot about the inner workings of a major corporation. Weil and Jamie worked together at American Express from 1982 to 1985, when Jamie became the president's assistant. Weil's people skills complemented Jamie's analytical prowess perfectly. In 1985, Sandy Weil left American Express because of conflicts with the company's authority. Even though American Express wanted Jamie Dimon to stay, he surprised everyone by leaving to Weil's side out of loyalty. As a result, the two started looking elsewhere for a deal to acquire a less substantial firm and use it as a springboard to a larger one. Luckily, they came across Commercial Credit in Baltimore, which is a consumer finance company run by Control Data. Jamie Dimon was tasked by Sandy Weil with evaluating the company's viability as a takeover target. However, Jamie saw potential in Commercial Credit despite the company's poor performance because of its low valuation. Commercial Credit's return on equity was only 4%, while comparable companies' average return was 15%. After deciding to invest the bulk of his personal fortune, Sandy Weil purchased 10% of the company and offered 80% of it to the public. Jamie Dimon, then in his early 30s, put his entire life savings of $425,000 into the company. They made a quick $850 million, so their investments were a good bet. Since Sandy Weil saw Jamie's dedication to the company, he appointed Jamie Chief Financial Officer, CFO, and rewarded his dedication with a generous stock option package. Jamie, a young CFO at age 30, was instrumental in turning around the company. In 1998, Jamie and Weil were able to create a large financial service conglomerate called Citigroup by merging with several other companies. As Jamie emerged from his mentor's shadow with the confidence to make his own decisions, tensions between the two began to surface. Jamie Dimon is a skilled and intelligent businessman, but he can be too blunt and has a temper, both of which work against him at Citigroup, where he was groomed to replace Sandy Weil as CEO, but who was not ready to retire at 66 years old. Considering Jamie as CEO of Citigroup, Sandy believes his characteristics would potentially put him at risk. Thus, Sandy Weil sent his daughter, Jessica Babilovich, to be backup for Jamie. Jessica and Jamie have known each other since they were young, but it seems Jamie doesn't like to mix relationships with work. Over the period of time when the time of promotion came, Jamie did not promote Jessica because he believed Jessica did not perform well in his division. To be fair, Jamie is always preaching about fairness, so he didn't do Jessica any favors. It was at this point that Jamie Dimon began to experience increased pressure from his longtime mentor, Sandy Weil, and was eventually fired. As a result of pressure, Jamie Dimon left the company. While Sandy Weil loved his adopted son, he preferred his biological child. Ironically, Jessica ended up leaving the company her father founded, and Weil retired just 4 years after Jamie left Citigroup. Following an 18-month-long break from the financial services industry, on March 27, 2000, Jamie accepted an offer to become chairman and CEO of Bank One, the fifth largest bank in the country. Jamie was hired to fix the sinking Bank One, which had lost $511 million in 2000 due to management mistakes and poor earnings that had been piling up since 1999. Jamie was resolute in his mission to restore Bank One to financial viability. On the other hand, he wasn't just talking. He backed his words up by investing roughly $2 million in Bank One shares. From his time with Sandy Weil, he took away the lesson that if he had a stake in something, he would feel compelled to see it run efficiently. During his first year as CEO of Bank One, Jamie Dimon improved the company's management and balance sheet by cutting costs by more than $1 billion. He cut ties with corporation borrowers who didn't invest in Wingspan's money management and stock underwriting services and shut down the company's much-touted but money-losing online division, wingspanbank.com. Managers at the company's 1,800 branches were paid commission on net revenues rather than on sales, and the entire organization was required to publicly display profit and loss statements. Jamie was very careful about how the company spent its money. Jamie's conservative side showed up at this time. Soon after assuming control at Bank One, he instituted a sophisticated risk management system, resulting in a broader spread of investments for the bank. Bank One was able to reduce loans to WorldCom and other risky firms by billions of dollars thanks to the method put in place by that system before the technology economy crashed. Jamie Dimon's management was foresighted. Jamie Dimon negotiated the merger of Bank One and JPMorgan Chase and Company of New York in January 2004. The two financial institutions could not have competed successfully internationally without one another, especially against Citigroup, which had more than $100 billion in revenues in 2003, making it the largest financial services company in the world. The new company would have its main offices in New York, but would also open a presence in Chicago to handle some of its retail operations. After acquiring Bank One for approximately $58 billion in stock, JPMorgan Chase is now the second largest bank in the United States, with loans and assets totaling $1.1 trillion. The merger would result in the consumer and commercial banking operations in the United States to be rebranded as Chase. This deal brought together the consumer banking expertise of Bank One and the corporate banking dominance of JP Morgan. Together, the branch banking system had 2,300 locations, or 3 times as many as Citigroup. After a year of mergers and acquisitions, Jamie Dimon was named CEO of JPMorgan Chase, which is already the largest bank in the United States. The JP Morgan's deal provided Jamie Dimon with the career opportunity of a lifetime to become one of the most powerful bankers in the world, and the chance to have a head-to-head with his one-time mentor, Sandy Weil. Thank you for listening, and if you enjoyed this episode, kindly like and subscribe for more videos.